Awesome. I'm here with Ted, the director of cross country and track and field at Nebraska Wesleyan University. Ted, tell me about your story. What brought you to Nebraska Wesleyan as a two-sport athlete? What kept you around the Lincoln area, and why are you coaching still in the league?
Okay, well, that's a lot, but I'll give it my best shot here. I was born and raised in Lincoln, right where Nebraska Wesleyan is, and didn't look around a whole lot after high school. I was a three or four sport athlete in high school, and had some opportunities to go to some other places, but some of my high school teammates were here at Nebraska Wesleyan and took a visit and just felt right. And so got started, and my experience at Nebraska Wesleyan was, kind of sounds cliche maybe, but it was truly life changing. Not only great experience athletically, but probably more importantly, I had I met two what I would call mentors during that time, and one of them, a man by the name of Dr. Cliff Fall, was the chair of the psychology department, and I really, for the first time, except maybe way back in grade school or middle school, took academics seriously, became a serious student, and fell in love with the world of psychology, and he was a big part of that. And so that kind of led me in my academic pursuits. And then the other person was a man by the name of John Homan, who was my event coach in track and field. Wasn't the head coach, but I was fortunate to have John for 2 of my 4 years. And not only helped me as an athlete in a big way, but probably more importantly, really made me understand what an impact a coach can have on a young man or woman. And without John, there's no way I would be coaching, today. John, whoever sees this interview may remember John. He was after he was here at Nebraska Wesleyan, he was actually at UNL getting his master's degree at that time, and helped out with our program, but went on to have a long, very successful career as the head track coach at Mount Union University, well-known program. So, having those two people, like I said, led me down my path academically, as well as in the back of my mind, really understanding what an impact a coach can have on a young person. After graduation, I was in a middle school here in Lincoln, Nebraska for 9 years, actually, as a special needs counselor, working with students, at-risk students. And that very first year, I wasn't coaching, but then the second year of that 9-year span, I became an assistant coach here at Wesleyan, and did that for 4 years on a part-time basis. And then that fifth year, I became the head coach. And at that time, it was still a part-time position, if you can imagine that. And we started growing our program from that point, and then finally, about 3 years after that, became full-time. And I was also teaching. I'm an assistant professor here at Wesleyan, and my class load has dwindled over the years as the responsibilities of being a coach become more and more and more. And so now I just teach one class, but I really enjoy that part of what I do. Over the years, I've had some opportunities to go other places, but I've been around the country enough to, I think, recognize a good situation when I see it, and it's a great place to raise a family. And my wife Denise has been there's no way I could do this without her, and she has a great job here in Lincoln as well. So we've been here ever since.
How awesome. Thank you for sharing your story.
You bet.
Joining the conference just recently in 2016, what has been your favorite memory thus far?
Couple things, from a pure competitive standpoint. We were fortunate enough, when we came into our conference, or to the ARC, or the Iowa conference at the time. We had our women's program especially was really strong, and that very first fall, was that the fall of 16? Do I have my date right? we were able, our women's cross country team were able to win the conference championship as a team, and then we won it, I think, the next year as well. So that was very memorable, and we also won, I think, 3, maybe 4 indoor and outdoor track championships right in those first couple of years when we came into the conference. So that was exciting, and I'll always remember that coming into the conference. But probably again beyond that, even just the wonderful people I've met, just in this relatively short period of time. All the coaches, around the conference were very welcoming to not only me, but our entire staff, all of our athletes, and it's just a great group of women and men to be around with fellow coaches. And I also, deeply respect every institution that we've been able to travel to and compete with, and it's just been a good 6 years. I've really enjoyed it.
Awesome. And then with the competitiveness and how it continues to grow in the American Rivers Conference in both cross country and track and field, what excites you most about the future of the conference?
Well, that's one thing that we certainly promote, is just the strength of track and cross country within our conference, on a national level. I think it just came out a couple of weeks ago after the NCAA cross country championship that our conference had more All-Americans than any conference in the country, and with very strong teams, great individuals. And we're going to see the same thing in track and field, without a doubt, come March and April, or May, I guess, for the national championships. So the competitiveness is certainly exciting. As one thing that I here at Nebraska Wesleyan, and maybe our institution as a whole, is maybe looking forward to. I'm not so sure about maybe the Iowa schools as much. We were kind of the new kids on the block for a while, and like I said, it was very welcoming. But I would like to see possible expansion down the road. There's been some talk here and there, and we don't want to go crazy and have a coast to coast conference like some of the Division I conferences are now. But a little expansion to wherever that would take us, could be pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your input on that.
You bet.
Anything else you want to add in this interview about honoring the conference and our 100-year anniversary, your experiences? Think you got it all covered?
We were, a quick history lesson, 1970s, 80s, into the 90s. There were many schools across the country that belonged to both the NAIA and the NCAA Division III. And we were one of those, mainly for some of our sports like football. For an example, we were in an NAIA conference because that was the only way they could qualify for national postseason opportunities. We, in track and cross country, we always went NCAA Division III. That's where that's what I deeply believe in. Anyway, long story short, 2016, by that point, we were the last school across the country to be dual affiliated with both the NAIA and the NCAA. And I respect the NAIA and what they do. It's a good fit for some schools, but the NCAA Division III philosophy is what I deeply believe in, and I think it's the best model for athletics and academics, under the guise of a college institution. So I'll just share that, and I'm a big Division III guy, so that's my message.
Awesome. Thank you for the short history lesson on this Friday morning.